You are listening to a Dynamic Works Productions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show.
Hello, sir.
Oh, you got the video going?
You want that off or on? I know it makes a...
Yeah, I'm still running a 2012 laptop, so that video doesn't do great on the record.
There.
Okay, that just started. Let's see.
I get to lean back in my recliner here.
Let's see.
That's better. Whatever fan you had going there was,
Let's see, is it coming in the right mic? Yeah, it's coming in the right mic. Okay.
that doesn't sound like it, actually.
Hmm?
It didn't sound like it was coming from the mic you were tapping.
Didn't sound like it was coming from this mic? I see it on the meter.
Okay.
I'm
Still sounds a
above it. I'm not directly in front of it.
Go.
Yeah, that'd be the cardioid on the mic.
Fucking cardioids.
What you drinking tonight?
A little 805. Now.
I don't actually know what that is. What is that?
It's a Central Coast kind of IPA beer.
Oh, okay.
I had to slow down from the stuff I was drinking earlier. I think I was about 4 Jack and Cokes deep. And then we ran out of Coke, so I decided to switch up to a little Suntory whiskey.
Gotcha.
Right. So.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Well, sadly, I can't do beer anymore. I was gonna choose my selection based on what you were drinking, but can't do the wheats, can't do the beer. So my choices are, let's see, we got Captain Morgan Private Reserve and Coke. We got Yukon Jack and root beer, or I don't think there's a name for it, but I mix these, what are they called? I feel terrible. Where's the boxes to the right? Mix Cayman Jack margaritas with Crystal Head vodka. That's pretty
interesting. Good. Okay.
Yeah, a little splash.
I would probably go with the what was it? The root beer and whiskey.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it should be. Dealer's choice.
All right. It seems like the easier of the bunch, and probably goes down a lot easier.
I don't know. They're all very smooth. Oh, fuck me.
When did Skype start adding subtitles?
Last summer.
Jesus.
It works 65% of the time.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here watching and try to figure out my stammer.
Oh. Okay. It is not a twist off. Where is the fucking bottle opener? There we go. Figures. Let's see. There we go.
And this is your ASMR part of the podcast.
Sure. Okay, let me turn off a couple of hard drives.
Listen to the smooth, sultry sounds of that root beer pouring into an ice-cold glass.
Well, the glass isn't cold, but the Yukon is. That is for sure. Okay, now the icebox is kicked off.
I think since the last time we've talked, I've done some hella upgrades to the equipment here. I don't know if you can notice in the audio.
I can.
Yeah.
I can, because you don't sound like
I don't have that jar of marbles rattling around my chin. Yeah.
I don't remember calling it that exactly, but
or the can mic from the headset. Yeah. Now the other podcast I've been doing. Yeah, I've been cheating on you.
It's
the
fine.
guy that edits
everybody does it to me eventually.
No.
It's the Podfather's law.
Right. No, I joined up with the Guardians mental health thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they started putting me on the podcast, and it took one episode of me with my shitty USB mic. Because after our episode with the headset mic, like, you got to get a better mic. So I went out and got a shitty USB mic, and it was better.
Well, you said you got a Yeti, right? Or not a Yeti, a Snowball?
Now I have a Snowball.
Yeah. Yeah, those are solid.
He sent me, he's like, I am not editing out this bullshit ever again, so I'm sending you a Yeti or a Snowball. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
The cost of a Snowball Ice was worth the time of him not having to edit it so much.
I mean, they're like $35 if they're on sale.
Right.
At Amazon, so, so it goes. Well, we, as usual, we've been rolling. I had no ideas to do anything normal, so I figured I would just leave it in your capable.
We're not going to spin the ring?
I'm gonna be real with you. I have no fucking idea where that ring is. I mean, I could roll. I know I've got a dice app on my phone. We could assign numbers.
We know the 4 topics. I don't care how we want to slap at them. I'm kind of shooting off the cuff here too, because I think this was a last minute. Hey, I want to do it, right?
Yeah, I woke up this morning and things felt normal, I guess. And I was like, I should do this thing that I've been vaguely thinking about for the last 3 months. Because
when was the last episode?
Was let's say it was February 28th. I looked at it this morning, and it was the second of our road attempt shows.
Which, mind you, those were quite amusing.
Oh yeah, were they?
Yeah. I actually kind of like the road show.
Well, as things get more back to normal and there's actually road to be on, that can continue as long as it doesn't aggravate people too much. We tried a lot of different things to try to make that sound good. We tried splitting the AirPods between our ears, hoping that each of the mic pickups would work simultaneously, but I guess that's not how that works.
Right.
We tried going through our Bluetooth speaker, which had a mic in it. Not so great. And what ended up working strangely the best was just the raw mics on an iPhone XS. Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of designed to block out the background noise. And
yeah, I mean, they've got 3 of them. They should be doing something. So, yeah.
The growing pains, right?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I looked into it. There, prior to them getting rid of the headphone jack, there were a lot of really good high quality ones. And I looked at some that even Blue made. And, aside from the sticker shock, the reviews were strangely not that great about them, actually. you know, because they designed the bottom, I think the last good lightning port connector blue mic was designed for the iPhone 5, which would be a while ago.
Right. Well, funny. I think we've had this discussion before, way back in the day, and I think I finally bit the bullet and I upgraded to a phone that didn't have a headphone jack. And
yeah, how's that transition gone for you?
You know, I didn't think it would be a big deal, and you know, I was like, oh, whatever. I've got Bluetooth everything, Bluetooth headsets. I whatever. Take my headphone port away.
Mm-hmm.
The next phone I get that's got a no headphone port on, I'm going, I wish I had this thing again.
I mean, the headphone port, I think, will always be like a sticky wicket for me. I mean, I haven't had a headphone port now for 3 years, and I diligently used a dongle for a long time. Then finally went to the lightning port version of the stock earpod corded headset.
Right. My phone, I've got the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Came with a set of USB-C headphones.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know how much of an audiophile you are, but when I first went to the plugged-in lightning port, or the quote-unquote all-digital headsets, I definitely noticed a clarity jack up compared to
jack up, or
jack up. I maybe poor choice of words talking about jacks and things and audio and things that require jacks, but I noticed that the fidelity was definitely higher. I could at least with my ears, I could perceive that there was just a slightly bit less noise, and then just a little bit better response time to whatever audio file I was playing.
Okay.
And then I think it was shortly after that, a buddy of mine had the first set of AirPods, and I was like, okay, wireless, that just works. We'll see about that.
Right.
But they did, you know, they did. I still got a first gen set that I'm rolling around, and then ironically, that same buddy, last November, he had the AirPod Pros, and that was like, I tell you, that was a religious experience right there.
Right.
Oh my God.
And again, with my upgrade, they were like, do you want a pair of the Samsung Buds Plus?
Yeah, I hear they're pretty good.
I said, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing. I'd stick them on my ears, they pair immediately, and they've got this nice little thing called ambient mode. That I can turn on and off with a long press, which is that's kind of a nice feature, especially in my work. I work in a very noisy environment.
Yeah.
So I walk inside and I can't hear anyone. I long press them and I get full ambient, in fact, amplified, almost worse than a hearing aid.
It's funny. Eons ago, I think when I had a iPhone 4, I had this app that would do like noise canceling using the mic on the corded thing on an iPhone. So when I'd mow the lawn, it would reduce the noise.
Right, but not knock it out.
Well, sure, of course.
Right.
But
so that's kind of a nice feature that I can hear everyone, and if I walk back outside, it's blaring, but then it attenuates, or I can just long press and literally turn my ears off.
Yeah.
So the tech has come a long way with the wireless earbud. So the jury's still out on whether or not I'm completely done with the headphone jack.
Well,
I had an
impromptu
meeting with my therapist the other day, and I didn't know where my USB-C headphones were. My Buds Plus had been expired for the day. I used up the 8 hours of them, and it kind of left me in a pickle where I have headphones. I have my gaming headset. I could just, on my old phone, I could just plug it in.
Sure.
And I was bummed. It just, left me in a pickle.
For sure. I mean, where I run into issues with the wireless is whenever I want to use my Switch in bed. Because for a thing that has literally 2 Bluetooth receivers, I've seen the teardowns, you know. Not a goddamn one of them
Does audio?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure the chip is capable, you know, because most of the stuff in the Switch is pretty stock,
right?
Off the shelf parts. But it's ridiculous because I've seen there's like a whole litany of like Bluetooth adapters, some are the dongle that hang out of the headphone jack and just kind of clamp onto the back. Others actually, cuter ones, match the red and blue of the colored Joy-Cons and slide into the USB-C slot. I don't have one personally, but I've looked at them because I'll be in the middle of something. I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll just crawl into bed. Jessica's doing something. I'm going to keep doing this thing. Oh, these headphones do not work. 90% of the headphones over here. And so then it'll be like, hey, hon, have you seen an old headset? It should be like, no. Inevitably, it's in our purse.
Everything is in that purse. You've seen the old Felix the Cat's thing, right?
Yeah,
the bag of tricks,
I
right?
grew up on Felix the Cat. That's a crazy.
That's almost every woman's purse.
Man, there's a good question right there. Where the hell happened to Felix the Cat? Who owns him? Why is he not? All right, this is worth a Google. This is what we're doing. This is what we're spending important time on.
We transitioned from technology, kind of touched on video games. Now we're going into entertainment.
Felix
you
the
see
Cat.
How that works?
Yeah. Who?
And we'll get back into video games in a minute.
1919. Okay.
Master Cylinder and
somebody's got to own him.
Right.
He's owned by. Okay, this is not helping. Where is who? I don't care. Revival? Okay, that doesn't help me either. They got purchased in 1953. Okay, something a little more current, please. Let's see. Home video?
The power of editing.
Got into DVDs? Or the lack thereof, as our show is any record of. Oh my god. Okay, well, fuck you, Wikipedia. All right. Felix the Cat. Who owns it? Oh, so they got bought out by DreamWorks Animation. Owns Felix the Cat.
Interesting.
So, and then DreamWorks got bought by NBC Universal like 5 years ago, didn't they? So it's a Universal Media Group then. Well, no, that means it'd be Comcast. Comcast owns it. If you follow the parent company chain up to which cell phone company owns, or internet global communications company owns.
So
big media.
The big question is, can we get a Felix the Cat in a Deadpool movie?
No.
Okay. What about Spider-Man?
I mean, no, because none of those are owned by Disney. And even though the Hulk titled film movie rights are still owned by Universal, you can clearly see that Marvel has killed that cash flow for Universal. So that is definitely not happening for sure. Okay. I mean, so here's my hypothesis. So if it's owned by DreamWorks and Universal and all that stuff, Illumination Entertainment is owned by Universal now.
Right.
The Minions guys, and they're actually working on the Super Mario Brothers movie. Believe it or not, I don't know if you knew that was a thing.
Please, dear God, no.
It's a real thing. The Minions people are working on a Super Mario Brothers movie with approval from Nintendo creator Shigeru Miyamoto.
Nice.
It's really happening.
Wait. So which studio did Sonic?
None of those.
None of those. Okay.
So, I know everything about the Sonic movie because I'm a huge Sonic fan.
I know.
And the movie was fantastic. If I haven't, I don't know if I've talked about it on.
We haven't had an episode since.
Oh yeah, the Sonic movie is fucking fantastic. It's wonderful. I'm of course horribly biased, so you can't entirely take me at my word. But you know, I went into the movie thinking, well, you know, okay. And then I walked out of the movie going, how the fuck did they turn that ship around in like 6 months because they had to reanimate everything, and then B, like, it's good, like it's funny, it's heartfelt, like I maybe teared up a little, you know, like the fuck.
Interesting. Well, I mean, did the before fix animation really make or break you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
and in fact, there is one shot in the film, and if you listen to the director's commentary, he'll even point it out, where it's the old model, because he was like, you know, here's a wide shot. If you look closely, it's not the same as the rest of the film. He's like, we had to pick our battles somewhere. Yeah, because that was like a $20 million
right
reanimation. But the funny thing is, the team who did all the CGI in the film was actually Blur Studios, who's famous for doing all the video game cutscenes from everything from Star Wars to, ironically, they've done all the CGI Sonic stuff since 2006.
Right.
And the director of the film, in fact, the first thing he ever directed was one of those CGI things for one of the Sonic video games. And so that's how he ended up getting the gig of making a live action movie. And ironically, to also bring it back to Deadpool, Blur is owned by Tim Miller, who, of course, did Deadpool 1 and is apparently a huge Sonic fan. And so that's how that all got off to the races. It's crazy.
The day I learned.
I mean, you know, the more you know, song and jingle is trademarked, but, you know, you guys hear it. You guys hear it in your head.
Oh, I use that GIF all the time.
The fact that you refer to it a GIF. Now, I know you were around when it was really a thing. So the fact that you're referring to it as a GIF now is ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Before I call it a GIF, I really am not going to die on this hill.
I mean, I call it a GIF.
Okay.
Because a GIF to me is just
it's not a graphical image format. I'm sorry. That's my argument.
Classic. But I think yeah, I just don't call it the other thing because it's just too close to the peanut butter Jiffy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what my grandma always had.
Mm-hmm.
Was Jiffy. Or of course Skippy, if it was as
long as it wasn't Peter Pan.
Was there a Peter Pan peanut butter?
Oh, there was.
Okay.
And it was probably the most flavorless and overly salted of the bunch. And my Nana loved.
So less oil, more salt.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, loved her Peter Pan peanut butter.
It's terrible.
It's horrible. I have nightmares.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Right. It's right up there with the Donald Duck orange juice.
I think there was probably... I think I vaguely recall that, if that was a thing or if it was a reissue when I was a kid.
It's still a thing. I saw it the other day when I went shopping.
So it goes.
Right.
Well, alrighty, Nate. So what do you want to talk about? I mean, I'm game for anything.
Oh, wow. So, well, speaking of game, what have you been playing? We're all locked in, shut in, trying to navigate this whole new COVID thing. And you are in an extreme hotbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awful here. In fact, I got a killer one on Life Stories. But I've been playing a shitload of things.
Like mostly Switch or
no, actually the Switch didn't really come in until like a couple days ago, believe it or not. Like I've been very much not switching, which is odd. What I actually did at the start of the whole COVID thing was I played a fuck ton of the Apple Arcade offerings, which are surprisingly robust. Most of them are coming to Switch and other things. I'm guessing they've got timed exclusivity on Apple Arcade for, like, let's see, it launched last October, and we're seeing stuff show up now, so that's what? So 3-4-ish months? Because I know there's a bunch of trailers right now in the Switch eShop for this cute game called What the Golf. Which
I've heard of it.
It's sometimes it's 3D, sometimes it's 2D, and it's hysterical. So it'll be, from an Apple Arcade perspective, you're flicking your touchscreen or flicking your Apple remote to swing your golf club, right?
Right.
With kind of like a little vague cone of how much speed you're going to hit the ball with.
Correct. Right.
And it starts off, you're just putt-putting. It's a putt-putt golf kind of thing. And it'll be like, okay, cool, get the ball in the hole. And the next level will be get the hole in the ball. And so you're kicking the fucking hole, the golf hole, to the ball. And so each subsequent level is just it's different every single fucking level, and there's like fucking hundreds of levels, and it'll be like ridiculous shit. Like suddenly your golf ball turns into a ignited rocket powered barrel, but you have to, like an exploding barrel from a video game, and you have to like guide it through cats that are throwing golf balls. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then after you clear a bunch of stages, you realize there's like this weird, insane overworld too. So you're like going around completing these things with kind of the typical, Angry Birds, Super Mario Brothers world, like get 3 stars on a level by completing objectives correctly and
so what you're telling me, this is like when I was in high school and I took mushrooms and went mini golfing with my friends.
If the things I described are like what you experienced, then yes, it's absolutely like that. But it's a fantastic game, and it's a really fun game to show people who don't game, because it's golf, so they get it instantly, but then it's wacky, and so it like makes them chuckle. So I mean, it'll be like stupid shit, like it always starts with a title, and it'll be like some golf pun. It's terrible. Like, it is the daddiest joke golf game I've ever seen.
Oh, see, I will enjoy that. And this is just on Apple now, or
no, it's coming to everything this week, next week, sometime. I know it's definitely coming to Switch sometime this week, I believe. What I saw on this.
I will keep an eye on it for Steam, because I now actually have a PC that can game.
Yeah, I'll just look it up for you.
Yeah.
What the golf? But yeah, no, it'll be like horrible dad joke shit. Like, the title of the particular level will be like a hole in one, and so you're kicking a 1 around to get it in the hole. Yeah, it's that kind of game. Okay.
What are you, some sort of putts?
Well, I'm on whatthegolf.com, and I'm actually only seeing Apple and Switch at the moment.
You'll have to keep me informed on that then.
Yeah, I assume it'll come into other things, because what I've been seeing is like, I'll play something in Apple Arcade, and then I'll see it pop up on PSN or Xbox Live Arcade or Switch or Android, or see some ads for it somewhere. But so far, unlike Xbox Games Pass, none of them have left the service, so I don't know how their arrangement differs to Games Pass, other than the fact that it is kind of like Games Pass. I think the only big difference on it is, they're all games that have never come out before, which is interesting. So, and then I played, basically a turn-based, like grid-based survival game called Overland, and it's got this kind of like retro N64 graphics on purpose kind of thing, but with like hardcore permadeath. But it has procedurally generated dialogue, which is hilarious at times, and I don't think it's maybe even trying to be funny. So you'll like have these characters, and they've got like basically like no eyeballs or anything, like, so like very like early 64 days, or maybe even PlayStation 1. And you'll do these turn-based things, and you're picking up objects, and you can only carry, certain things in your backpack. It's like a hardcore zombie survival kind of thing, except the zombies are not zombies. They're like these weird bipedal crystal things that want to eat you. I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly what they are, but they fuck you up really fast. But then, you get into like the way the levels are set up is, you get out someplace on foot, and each move you make advances the sun to going down. And if the sun goes down all the way, all these crystal zombie things come out and start moving towards you. So your objective is to collect the supplies that you can, or survivors, and then usually gas up a car that's somewhere on the map and then drive away. And then you've got like a little overworld map to like, you've got 2 gallons of gas. You can go to this point over here, you can go to this lake over here, but you can't do both. But it's procedural based, so it's like it's different every time you roll. Like one time I started off with this teacher who had a peg leg, but he had a dog. And it's got one of like those adventure game mechanics where like you've got like verb stuff to like look or inspect things. So like if it's the human, it's like, okay, open garbage can, I see an apple or thing. But if you're the dog, because the dog works just like a human, but what text is on his stuff is totally different. It'll be like, arf, move over there, it'd be like, oh, it smells like tasty or something like that. It'd be like right. Dog logic, which is great. But once you move to a new area, there's this like dialogue tree thing that's like apparently procedurally generated. And I encountered this thing where I was like playing this like chick who'd escaped from an orphanage, but then like she ended up shooting a human because they pulled a gun on us during our travel. And I was with this other gal who was like a gas attendant or something, and they're having this dialogue, and the gas attendant gal is like, oh man, I can't believe you're a murderer, you like killed that person last level or whatever. And then the chick who ran away from homeless shelter was like, I also murdered my parents too. And there's like this huge awkward silence, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then it's just like cue next level, and I was like, I don't... and then like the next night, the gas attendant gal would be like, do you want to talk about it? And then the girl right away would be like, no, do you want me to kill you too? And then the other girl's like, okay, I guess I'll drop it. And it's like, what is happening to this procedural dialogue right now? It's ridiculous.
It almost sounds like one of those, we fed a horror, 150 horror movies into an AI, and this is what they gave us.
Oh yeah, it definitely sounds like some of that stuff. Let's see. I played that. I played this.
Whoa!
Sorry, that would be my Apple Watch approximately maybe 14 inches below the mic, the way I've got it positioned here. It's silenced. It's my bad.
All good.
I played this. Did you ever play or hear about games like Limbo or Inside?
Can't say that I have.
They were Xbox Live Arcade darlings from this studio called Playdead. They were 2D atmospheric platformers with no dialogue, but they like inferred everything through like visual and sound, and they were like very emotive. They won a shit ton of awards.
Interesting. Almost like the Ori series.
They're like 2D but 3D. And my understanding is Ori is hand drawn 2D. Is that correct? I haven't played Ori.
It's hand animated, but it's still got that level of depth to it, where you have foreground, midground, kind of dimensional aspects to it. It's not 3D per se, but it is kind of it's in the nature of a 2D side scroller, but each depth of field is animated.
I mean, it's like a 3D engine, but it plays 2D, and there's like depth of field and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Stella is like Limbo or Inside. It's an atmospheric, story is inferred through the environment and things going on, platformer. I played that a lot, and I actually got my girlfriend Jessica to play that a lot. She really dug the art style. That is definitely on other platforms. I think I've seen it pop up on lots of shit. I played this Portal-esque game called Manifold Garden that has it's like first person 3D and like MC Escher type art, but if it was like only in the color scheme of the original Game Boy. So it's like only like gray and like green, I guess, like on purpose.
Okay, right.
And then and I say Portal-esque because like they'll have you like go like inside of things, and then suddenly that's not the size of the thing that you're in, like that kind of perspective shift thing. And like you could be on like a building, like floating like just in this abstract thing, but you would see, if you looked out on the horizon, you would see that same building and even you standing over on that building, like if you moved and stuff.
Gotcha.
And if you like jumped off the building and fell down, you would still arrive back at that same building. You know what I mean? So I played a bunch of that. And that was pretty good. I think I stopped that one because I got frustrated.
That's funny. Like the one game that I've been playing that isn't of the Destiny franchise. I'm going to bring up the system that shall not be named. Streaming service.
Oh, what, Stadia? I mean, now is your fucking chance to talk about it, man. I mean, I've been saying it. I mean, just because Brock's in the other room doesn't mean you can't talk good about it.
he's gonna bust in the door John Cena style. But no, one of the games that they gave out as part of the subscription was the Turing test, and
okay,
it's probably, I think it's a 4-year-old game at this point, 4 or 5-year-old game, and again, it's kind of a Portal-esque. You have this, your gun that activates different nodes along the way, and it's a matter of trying to figure out how to get this thing to that place without locking yourself out of a room. Very much in this what is it, scheme of Portal.
Yeah,
so that was one. Yeah, that's the one game I've played that isn't Destiny, and then of course, I'm still the D2 fanboy. I heard an Xbox fire up there.
I'm gonna be real. Like I'm trying to rack my brain for all the different things I've been playing. So I'm just turning on my shit, and looking through what I've been actually playing. Like you'll hear, come on.
I know that sound.
Well, let's see if you hear this sound. Come on, you fucking piece of shit remote. There we go. Actually, I guess you probably wouldn't know that sound because you're an Xbox boy. But that was the...
Oh, I know the PlayStation sounds, yeah.
Okay. That was PlayStation. That was fine. And then...
but yeah, and on that Stadia note, it was kind of funny when, we're going through this era of Trials of Osiris, or Trials of Saint 14, as it were. I don't know how much you've been keeping up with Destiny 2.
I have not. To put it briefly.
Or Destiny 2 in general, where once it came to the PC platform, the competitive PvP and Trials is rife with aimbots and cheaters on PC.
Oof.
Right?
Is that because of their swap off of Battle.net?
It actually has a lot to do with that because, the anti-cheat systems on Steam is just like, whatever, you figure it out.
I mean, that's kind of been Steam's MO from the get-go. Whatever, you figure it out.
And then you get a game like Doom that says, well, we're going to introduce, or was it Doom that introduced their anti-cheat system that accesses your computer on a kernel level?
Yep. But it broke a week before, which is why PC people all had beaten Doom Eternal.
Right.
Which is another one, by the way, up there on my list.
Yeah, that's on my list too. But so all these cheaters are coming out. There's wall hacks, there's speed boost, there's infinite super. You can spawn with heavy. You can just keep spawning. Infinite respawn. It's blatant and it's horrible. And there's a guy that's just doing a YouTube series on it right now. That's just like, this is what it looks like. And I'm not going to call them cheaters, because if I call them cheaters, you all flame me about calling them cheaters. And he just shows the video of him playing, and it's just like, wow, the aimbots, the wall hacks. He's had interviews with someone and like, if we don't want our accounts banned, we just wall hack. Because that's the easiest one to get away with. It does, they get an advantage, but it doesn't show. They're not running a PvP stat of 11.0 KDA across a career.
I got you.
Right. So a bunch of the big names, I want to say it was either Giggs or Glad. I think it was Giggs. Decided that he was going to run his Trials cards on Stadia because Stadia was giving away the service for 2 months. And he's just like, he goes, you know what? I get everything that I get from PC. I get 4K. I get 60 frames per second. I can do mouse and keyboard, or I can do controller, and I don't have any laggers. I don't have any cheats. I don't have any hacks. Right? It's just, he goes, this is like the best thing. It's just a shame that it's not widely accepted.
So Stadia, then, when it comes to multiplayer games, it's a closed system then, yes?
Yeah, it's its own platform.
Okay. I mean that's good in that respect. So tell me all your good experiences with Stadia.
Well, okay. And this is what I've told everyone that has approached me about Stadia, because I'm a Stadia fanboy, as they put it. When Stadia works excellent. When it doesn't work, it's unplayable. There's really no in between.
I mean, fair. That's like that sounds exactly like the early days of Netflix streaming.
Right, but here's the difference between Stadia and Netflix streaming is you would think, well, okay, I can have a 1 gig up and down connection, a la Dr. Lupo in the middle of Nebraska, that has a 1 gig fiber running to his house and has no problem playing any other game, right? Can't play Stadia on his fiber. Can hop on his cell phone.
But why not?
Well, can hop on his cell phone and play it no problem. And it's a matter of, it's not so much speed, it's hops.
Okay.
So how many hops it takes you to get back to a Google server is going to make more of a difference than your actual connection speed.
Okay.
So for someone like me in Los Angeles, I've got good infrastructure.
Sure.
I have no problems getting maybe 1-2 hops away from a Google service.
Sure. Well, because I'm
Right.
sure one of the nodes is up there in Silicon Valley.
Correct. And
Yeah.
and where you are, same thing. You're maybe 1-2 hops from a major node, being in Seattle.
Yeah, we don't have that many
But-
Google campuses around here. Obviously, they're predominantly Microsoft around
Right,
here.
but-
But I know
but
of
you're
several.
close to a trunk line.
Probably, sure.
So, but someone like Lupo that's in the middle of Nebraska, he's not really close to a trunk line. So while he's got gig service, he's probably 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 hops away from a trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And just a good frame of reference for anyone that's out there trying to figure out where their nearest trunk lines are. They run along the international transit rail lines.
Okay.
So if you're near a major rail line, you're probably near a major internet trunk line. The land was cheap and it was easy to dig up and lay a line there.
Okay.
So yeah, it really varies because I've had people come like, well, I have 500 up and down. Why am I getting crappy service when you have? And myself, I have 100 down, 10 up.
Oh,
and it's seamless.
Is that your max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's garbage by anyone else's standards, but it plays Stadia just fine.
Okay. Well, that's
like
good.
I would not. I could tell you that.
What resolution is it pumping out to you?
I can guarantee it at least 1080p 60 frames.
I mean, that's good enough.
Right. I may not be getting 4K, but again, there's that whole controversy of anyone that's supposedly pushing out 4K is getting up-resed anyways.
Well, I mean, unless you're on a high-end PC or the game is specifically running 4K, like PS4 Pro.
Right. So
nothing's truly 4K.
Therein lies the thing. There's your investment cost. So okay, sure. I really want true 4K 60 frames. What do I have to invest into a PC?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the dollar amount on that is minimum, just for the tower, not including monitors or TVs that can render or that can receive 4K?
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of tech videos on YouTube, and I've looked at people trying to make off-the-shelf parts for a minimum of $500 base to try to like make their own little box Xbox Series X, and they're still pushing like $650, $750 minimum minus a monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're paying for that.
And then you look at your consoles. What are those running?
Not that.
Right.
At all. I mean, if you're going base value when they're new, you're minimum 400, but obviously everything's, 250 to 150 depending on which model you get nowadays with good deals.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Switch. Switch is still 300.
Right. Right. So now enter Stadia.
Sure, cheaper upfront cost for sure.
What would you say the upfront cost is for Stadia?
Well, isn't right now it's free?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the minimum necessity for that is a browser or a supported Chromecast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, free and bring a controller or a keyboard, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's my other thing. So do you have the Stadia controller?
I do have the Stadia. I did log on with the Founders Edition, so I have the Stadia controller and the Chromecast Ultra.
Yeah, because you had the updated firmware before they rolled that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was an upfront cost of $130.
Right, and it included. Now, did that include your subscription?
That included 3 months of my subscription and a buddy pass that gave someone else 3 months of it, or myself an extra 3 months.
Okay. And what's your subscription cost?
$10 a month.
Okay. And so
basically like everything else.
If it's free for everybody else right now, what does that mean to you?
That means I still have access to my pro games that were available from day one.
What does that mean?
Let's see. Hold on. I'm actually logging into my Stadia account right now. Hopefully it doesn't break things.
Yeah.
Why, thank you.
I would think it'd be fine as long as you don't launch a game.
I can play Destiny 2 right now. Okay, so much like Xbox Games with Gold, uh, Stadia has rolled out, this is our free game to our pro users at no additional cost. So of those
Right,
games, I
right,
have
right, right. Because
the Turing.
sorry to
Right.
interrupt. Because the other thing with Stadia is you still have to buy the game, correct?
Yes.
Which is weird, but okay.
And we'll get into that. And I agree with you that is kind of a shortfall of the service. So, but with my first, being a founder, obviously I got Destiny 2, and that was a big sell for me. Destiny 2 with all the expansions and all future expansions.
All future expansions. That's interesting.
Correct. Right. So I now own Destiny 2. I can play it ad infinitum from here on out on Stadia as long as I keep my subscription up.
Well, and then that'll be good for you, unless obviously Bungie does a Destiny 3.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, and then I've got the Turing test. I have Steam World Heist. I got PUBG. I've got Zombie Army Dead War 4. I've got this game called Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, which is cute,
ridiculous.
But it's ridiculous. Yeah, Spitlings also ridiculous.
Okay.
Serious Sam Collection. Grid, another Steam World. Apparently the Steam World series is pretty well renowned.
Yep.
So SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh and SteamWorld Dig 2, and then I have Guilt, Metro Exodus, Farming Simulator 19, which, if you're a farming simulator guy, that's great.
And free on PlayStation at the moment.
Correct, right. Thumper, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and Samurai Showdown. Like, those are all the games I've gotten for free with my subscription.
Okay.
And if I decide to stop paying tomorrow, I just can't play them. And if I decide I want to play them again, I just pick up my subscription. They're back in my library.
Okay, so there's where Stadia differs itself between comparative things of Xbox Live Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus. So PlayStation Plus, as long as you have an active subscription, the free games are yours forever, but if you don't, you're locked out. Whereas
Correct.
Xbox Games with Gold, as long as you had it during that period, it's yours to keep forever, online or off. Or online, yeah. No, I said that right the first time.
And Stadia follows that model. As long as you're a subscriber, anything that was available at the time you were a subscriber, it's yours. It's yours to keep.
Okay.
No.
So, getting back to the controller, though, because I'm curious. So, what is your take on the controller? Because I've heard a lot of things about the build quality appearing really good, but then, shit breaking on it. So, what's the build quality? What would you compare it to? Do you prefer using the controller? Are you mouse and keyboard? Do you hook up your Xbox controller? What's the controller situation like?
If I had my druthers, I play with my Elite in a browser.
Okay.
In a browser environment, but yeah, the only way to play over the Chromecast is with the Stadia controller. And
really? So you can't play with your controller through the Chromecast to your TV?
Correct.
Oh, really? Okay. I feel like I had heard somewhere that you could do that, but I guess you can't?
The way that the Chromecast controller works is the Chromecast controller itself links up through your Wi-Fi to the Stadia service.
Right, which is supposedly faster.
Yes, much better.
Okay.
And then the information relayed back goes to whatever device, either your Chromecast browser or your Chrome browser or your Chromecast itself.
Okay.
So optimal play, even in a browser environment, and they just enabled the Wi-Fi play via browser, I think at the beginning of last month or at the end of last month.
Really? So they didn't have it until just now?
No, the only way to get the optimal experience was with the Chromecast controller the Stadia controller over the Chromecast 4K on a TV.
weird.
Right.
Because that's not what the advertisings were.
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And this is one of the things that, I completely understand people giving the service heat for. It was literally a snake oil situation where they said, this is what we can do. And everyone bought in on okay, this is what it's going to do. And it's capable of it. They just haven't rolled it out yet. Right? And that's
okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything.
No, say it.
I mean, I'm not a crazy hater. I mean, in the initial days, back when you could go to a movie theater, I was fucking sick of those dumb fucking ads that had nothing to do with the games. It's like, okay, they're showing this dude in a blockbuster fucking video playing games on different screens, and then they don't tell you what the service is. Like, if I wasn't me, I wouldn't know what this is. I'd be like, okay. Is this an ad for a weird TV show? I have no idea.
They made so many marketing missteps, and they've made so many missteps as far as how to price the games. And it was actually something that when this whole COVID crisis started, that I pinged Stadia directly and said, with everything that's going on, maybe you might want to kind of say, hey, here's a free trial to the service. Like a free trial would go a long way.
Yeah.
And then sure as shit later at the end of the month, they're like, so we're opening up the free tier to everyone, and we're giving everyone 2 months worth of the pro subscription. By the way, if you want to try it, it's currently free right now, and you can sign up for a 2 month worth of pro subscription and see if it actually works for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have just no desire to do that.
Right. And that's like, fine.
For me,
a lot of the pushback that I got from people is, well, it's never gonna fucking work, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, how do you know? Have you tried it? Well, it's never gonna work. Why? Well, it's just not. It's just bad. Have you tried it? Well, no, but it's just bad. Okay, so fucking try it, right? And now they had an opportunity to try it. I've actually had a few of the haters in my circle of friends go, dude, it's actually not that bad.
Here's where I stand on trying it. I mean, I don't have a personal desire to try it as a gamer, as a tech enthusiast.
Well,
I have a desire to try it.
Yeah.
But my laptop is a 2012 MacBook that doesn't have wireless AC draft Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So I doubt, even with my bitchin' internet here, it would be anywhere like worth a good shake, like a good 2020 shake for Stadia.
You'd probably be wrong.
Okay.
If your internet is good, you'd probably be wrong.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get extra board one day and I'll give it a go.
Well, you've got, I think, till the end of this month to claim the free trial.
Okay. I assume it ties into your Google account. Okay. So I'll just give it my fuck off YouTube Google account. Okay.
Yeah. No, seriously. I played it on a Surface Pro 1.
Okay.
Beautifully. I have my old Acer with my with an old ice. Like the processor is irrelevant, but yeah,
right.
It doesn't have
I understand the processor is ultimately
it's
irrelevant.
Yeah, it's a Wi-Fi. What is it? AB.
It would have been AB, then it was G, then N, then it went AC, and then they've rebranded to numbers now.
Right.
Which was fucking smart.
I know it's not AC. It might be N. It doesn't see my 5 gig Wi-Fi here.
N was a year or two before 360 up until 2013 was when AC came out.
Right. So and I play it just fine on that. Again,
Okay.
it's not so much a speed thing, it's a hop thing.
Okay.
That's the big misnomer is people think, well, I only have a 50 down, 5 up. There's no way I can play that. You'd be surprised.
I mean, only going back to this just from what I know of my own home network, I know for a fact that my laptop and my iPad Mini 2, which has wireless N in it, on that frequency on my Comcast router is definitely slower than my AC. That's the only thing.
No, and that's fine.
That I'm
if you do a
of.
speed test on those right now, what stats do you get?
1 second. I actually don't have everything right next to me, as you might think. But it is close enough. It's here right next
why
to...
would you? Yeah, why would you?
It's right next to my my display of the USS Enterprise. Let's see here. Alright, so I've got my iPad Mini 2 here. Fucking vintage at this point. Basically same specs as a... Hilarious how we were talking about this earlier. Same specs as an iPhone 5.
Right.
Oh man, it always comes back around, doesn't it? All right, the old Ookla speed test, and I'm 5 feet away from my router. It's loading. It's thinking about loading the app. It's thinking about loading the app. The app is up. Hitting go. And it's getting... I'll wait for it to finish. Almost done. That's not terrible. It's getting 117 Mbps down. 7-ish up.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
Now,
that's comparable to what you got then.
I don't care about those so much. What is your ping and jitter?
Oh, I got 15 milliseconds of ping. I got 2.1 of jitter. 0 packet loss.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here on my phone. My phone on my non-5G is 77 down, 10 up.
Okay.
On my hardwired, apparently I got upgraded because I'm getting 230 down and 5 up.
Well, who's your net provider?
Oh, Spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. But like the big factors there are your ping and jitter.
Sure.
Right? Not so much the speed. And a lot of people are just, well, I have gig service.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you got good gig service.
I had Frontier in my house, and my ping times doing the same kind of speed test were 127 seconds, and I had jitter of 5 or 6 milliseconds.
Sure.
And I would have packet loss, and it's like, well, that's great, but I can't game on that.
Yeah. So since you've had it since day one, do you think that they're doing a good job of getting games onto the service?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
You're like, no hesitation. You're like, nope, doing terrible.
Yeah, their marketing is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you don't have anything else to say. You're like, all right, yeah, it's shit.
No, I'm
should be better.
A swig of whiskey after before I unleash on that one.
That's fine.
Yeah. Google has done an absolutely atrocious job of marketing the service, marketing the platform, giving people an opportunity to actually try things. I think they should literally give the service away to anyone that wants it for a month.
Yeah, give them the fucking 30-day thing,
Right?
Or if
2
they're really
weeks.
fucking stingy and worried about servers, do the old, like Netflix did, the 14-day trial.
So fine. Give them the 1080. Don't even give them the full 4K 60. Give them 1080 60 or 1080 30 for free for 2 weeks. New game comes out. Hey, play this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whatever. 720 30. That's better than most consoles, or at least comparable to most consoles.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
They could do that, and they don't. And it blows my mind that they just shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly. And they are absolutely oblivious to their, look at any post that the Stadia account makes, and it's rife with people just going, "Are you coming to my country yet? Hey, how about this? Hey, what about that?" Right? And to be expected, any game developer or any service, you follow the Bungie accounts. Hey, my kid turned 2 years old today. Fuck you, fix trials. Right? You get these same trolls.
Sure.
But there's a common thread in there that it's just a lack of communication and a lack of transparency and a lot of overpromise, underdeliver.
Yeah.
But the tech, and you can respect this, the tech side of it.
When it works, it's awesome.
When it works, it's awesome. And if you didn't have a Stadia in the mix, the whole Xbox Cloud service would not be pushing boundaries. The GeForce Now would not be pushing boundaries. In fact, I think GeForce Now, as of the last spec test, is outperforming Stadia on latency. And Xbox has gotten
is getting up there.
Comparable. Right. They're comparable with Stadia.
Yeah.
You don't have that unless Stadia pushes that.
Well, and something everybody else forgets too is that, PlayStation still technically does have a game streaming service, and they've had it for a really long time. Right. And I know some people who are super happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
But, again, it's a very, it's only pushing 720p. So it's nothing crazy.
Right. And it's not everything that's in your library.
So what? Yeah. The PlayStation Now service is not what's in your library. It's I think it's $14 a month, I want to say. And it's a lot of PS4 games, but a bigger backlog of PS3 games, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes a little more sense since most of the PS3 games are 720p. But yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people who are happy with it, But,
right, but again, I will postulate the same question. Do you see a value in that?
In that you can, PS Now for me?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, see, I always look at myself as not the average gamer because, like, I'm a prosumer. I know all this stuff. I have all the fucking consoles in front of me, like right now. Like there's the Switch, there's the Xbox One X, there's the PS4 Pro, then below that's the 360 next to a fucking Wii U, and the OG fat PS3. They're all here and hooked into my TV, and if I want to fucking play, I mean, I can't even think of a PS3 game that hasn't already been remade on PS4. Oh, hang on. I got the PS3 games over here. If I want to play Starhawk or Killzone 2 or actually the first two Infamous games have not been remastered, which is a fucking criminal offense. Or if I want to play Metal Gear Solid 4, or one of those atrocious Resistance games, or of course Dark Sector, which famously led to Warframe. I can do that. But for now, my PS3
now or
no, on my PS3. I don't have a PS Now. I don't know what's on the service.
Right. But I'm like that's the thing. It's like, oh, okay, I want to play some backlog stuff that no one really wants to play. Is that something that's marketable? Do you think? No, I don't.
I think it depends on your situation, because like when I think of backlog games, I think of like a 360 game that I never finished. Like another game that I put in during quarantine was Red Dead Redemption, not number 2, the 360 one.
Right.
And of course, that's playable in just crazy loading and looking Xbox One X up-resness, you know. But I you have to be someone like me who didn't hold on to his shit and who didn't have a console that's capable of backwards compatibility.
Sure.
You know, because if I was, like an example here, in the other room is Brock doing whatever the hell he's doing. And, he had a PS3 and it shit the bed on him on, I think it was Skyrim. And then he said, fuck this.
That would be a game to do it.
I'm going to Xbox. And then for whatever reason, he didn't have an Xbox anymore. And then he went PS4. And then he had a PS4 for a long time. And then it bricked on him on Fallout 4. And then he said, well, fuck that. So from his perspective, like right now, he's only got a PS4. But I know he wants to play the Mass Effect trilogy again. And you cannot play the Mass Effect trilogy on your PS4, streaming or otherwise, because there's no backwards compatibility, whatever, So if he, he's got discs of things, but if
what was that sound?
That would have been my stomach going, hey.
Testament to what mic are you using?
I'm using the old Standboy that 99.9% of all podcasts for the last 15 years that I've been doing has been recorded on my Blue Yeti original silver dented with the scarred scraped My Little Pony etched into the fucking thing that my friend did.
I'm just sitting here listening to you intently. I was like,
that was a fantastic sound effect. I mean, if you're MSRing this, that should scare the shit out of you right now. Yeah. I mean, that's let's see, what is this? It's an arm length away, the point of the microphone from my stomach, but okay. But yeah, I don't think I'm a usual gamer in that sense, because if I want to play something, so another example, and it took me a while because I couldn't figure out which box it was in. And then, of course, other pieces of it were in different boxes, so it took even longer. But I dug out my PlayStation Portable, like my original PlayStation Portable, and I dug out Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which to this day has never been remade and was never made available digital.
Mm-hmm.
And is the only fucking way to play it is on a PSP. Mm-hmm. And so, in my situation, it's like, oh, well, I'll just go find the box that has the thing, because I keep all my shit, but I know from literally all of my friends that is not usual.
No.
that is, I know of one other friend who, after he pays off his student loan and his kids get grown and out of the house, because he talks to me every week, he shares these designs of his ultimate little game room with all the Super NES cartridges, everything labeled alphabetically, and the CRT TV plugged in properly for the old games, and then a different TV for the higher end games.
Right, he's gonna get one of those multi cabinets.
I think he had plans of a small, he was just gonna, he's pretty, he's an engineer, so
sure,
he was just
gonna Pi it.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely has several Raspberry Pis, but yeah, Stadia for me is not, Stadia would need to get to the point like on Netflix. Like I had this conversation just the other day with Brock about one of our favorite animated shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the fucking HD remastered Blu-ray set, and it just came back on Netflix recently. But it's the original broadcast version, like so fucking like 480p, fucking right. Fuzzy, terrible,
4x3,
fucking 4x3, fucking not 5.1, you know, just fucking terrible, you know. And he was telling me the other day, I was doing dishes, and he came down and he was like, yeah, Avatar's on Netflix, and I was like, don't you fucking own the Blu-rays? And he was like, yeah, but I didn't want to get up and walk 4 feet to the cabinet and put it in the PlayStation. You know.
No, there's value. There's value to that laziness. You can look at the app and go, I'm going to point and click to season 3, episode 2, done, play. Yeah,
exactly. You know, like that's you know, other than the fact that obviously I grew up in the walled garden that is Apple, you know, I love that all of my TV and movies that I've purchased, you know, 90% of it is digital on my Apple TV, you know, and I just fucking go, hey Siri, take me to, you know, oh my God. So there's a phone to my left. There's the old iPod just behind the mic here. There's the Siri remote to the side of that, and then there's
let me
there's the laptop back there. We can't say that in this room.
If one day Apple decided to go under, right? Like this is the big criticism on Google is they always start these projects and never follow through.
Sure.
If Apple one day decides to fold their doors and say we're done, where does that leave you? Being so invested.
I'm a weirdo. So all of the iTunes, the music, the movies, the TV shows, those are backed up on a physical RAID array. And so since the key doesn't expire, I would just load them from my laptop.
Right. But you are the weirdo.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Right. You know, there are certain things that don't apply.
That's a huge criticism of the Google infrastructure. It's like, well, they never follow through on anything. Like, look at, what was it?
I mean, you could just start naming things. You could start talking about their cloud service. You could start talking about their
Google Glass
photos. The Google Glass. You could start talking about
Google, the predecessor to Google Voice. What was that? Or was Google Voice the one that went away? Yeah. No, it was their replacement for a phone number service.
Oh. Yeah. No, I know exactly what Google Talk.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. The podcast where we stole Self-Made Dame from, they recorded the show that he was on using Google Talk.
Right.
Because I remember
great service.
Yeah, because I remember guesting. I remember guesting on it, and I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work for me. I got a Mac.
You know, and back in the day because I'm with the Sprint cell phone service, they had an integration with Google Talk that, you know, your number became a Google Talk number, so I would get visual voicemail with no problem. I could log into a computer with the Google browser, and I could make phone calls.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, because now Facebook's probably still got a thing like that. You know, of course, Skype has been around forever.
It wasn't the same. Like, I have Google Duo, which is the same. It's a video messaging service, and you have anyone with an app has FaceTime.
Well, or some variant of it, obviously. You know, or there's the WhatsApp.
Facebook Messenger has their
exactly.
I fucking hate WhatsApp.
Oh, I do too. I'm just saying I'm aware of it.
Facebook Messenger is
You know?
integrated it, or right now I can pop open a thing and I've got a family group with my wife, her sister, her husband, and boom, I've got a video call going immediately. So I get why some of these services got sunsetted, but yeah, Google's been prone to just drop things.
Sure, yeah, it's very annoying.
But it doesn't mean that someone more established like Apple or Microsoft could just go, hey, you know what? This isn't working for us. We're done.
I mean, yes, but, you know, if we're talking strictly about, obviously, you know, the media content that Apple offers, you know, the position they're in presently and have been in for some time now, you know, there's no chance of that. But, you know, again, from a hypothetical scenario, I would probably move my shit to Xbox. Because prior to I actually have a handful of stuff on my Microsoft account or Xbox account or whatever they're fucking calling it this year. Because they do rebrand so often. Like,
my God.
Like,
right?
Stop. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, rebranding does not endear me to anything, you know, although it seems to have stabilized, you know, within the last half decade.
Everything redirects now to, right? Like, I used to be able to go to xbox.com and see my account, and then it became live.com and saw my account. Now it's right. Now I can do all of those, and it redirects to microsoft.com/xbox/live/.
Yeah, I mean, well, for another example of that, you know, like I'm a big Apple guy, you know, and the predecessor to iCloud was a service called MobileMe, and the predecessor to that was a service called .Mac. And
I still have a
my
.Mac account,
personal email, which I will obviously not say, still has that affix on it. You know,
mine as well.
But it's all the same. You know,
graphic designer.
It's the same thing. It's still, you know, it's still a .Mac MobileMe iCloud account. Like, it's all the same fucking thing. You know, but anyways, I digress. we went off on a weird tangent there, talking about services and shit.
So we've gotten technology and gaming taken out of, like, we're done with those.
I mean, I didn't feel done with gaming. Like, there was a lot more games I was going to talk about, personally.
I mean, I can always come back on.
Do you need to go?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I just figured we want to get through the whole topic, right? So we've got gaming, we got tech, we got how's life been treating you, man, in a COVID environment?
I mean, I would say complicated, like everybody else. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna say, because I'm also gonna record with Mike tomorrow as well.
Buster?
Yeah.
Buster. Nice. Well
yeah.
done.
Yeah, we were trying to set it up today. But then he was like, after several hours, he's like, no, can do. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he's like, but tomorrow. And I was like, well. And I was like, okay.
He needed more time to freeze some gummy bears.
Sure. Man, is that a specific old deep cut to this show? Man. That is did you just do fan service on the Fork in Your Ear podcast? I think you did. Good God. Christ almighty. Man, I don't know. There's a lot to say about life, because life has been happening to everybody, whether they want it to or not, lately. Well, let me try to broad stroke it for you and the audience. Um, I would say the first 2 weeks, um, I was still going out to the field regularly working, and there was definitely a general paranoia that had set in to the world. Um, Still hadn't fixed traffic though.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a general paranoia going on and an unsureness of what anything was happening. And then I was working at a school that had already closed for COVID, and they were handing lunches out to the kids because, you know, some of the low income kids, you know, that's apparently the only meal they get that fucking day.
Oh yeah.
And the work was fine, but it was also weird because there's people in the school, but not kid people. And then that later that day was when our state governor had issued the stay-at-home order. That was also the same day that my loan officer called me and told me that my loan to purchase the business from my father failed. And that it not only did it fail, and she was very sad about it because she'd been working with me since last summer on it. I've probably mentioned it once or twice, but I failed by if my net worth was just 0.1% more.
Oh my gosh.
I would have gotten the loan. And I was
but
like,
a hard line has
cool.
to be drawn. Yeah.
You know, and so the broad strokes of that were the following 2 weeks, nothing really happened. Me and Brock were doing stuff in the office. Then my dad's company basically ran out of money. And then he injected a personal loan to keep me and Brock on half days, 4 days a week. And then girlfriend Jessica, who ran the office, had to get let go, which didn't go over well, obviously. No. But, you know, and it wasn't like, I was actually more mad about it than she was, you know? But, right. You know, so then she was not working for a month. Then she got a job, ironically, at Amazon. And then, you know, we would get occasional jobs here and there. And sometimes we'd go someplace, you know, and for, you know, people being weird about it or whatever, you know, like we had face shields, we had masks, we had gloves, we had all that sort of stuff. Not shitty masks either. We got the N95 masks. You know, like when it started, I don't know, I guess eking or eroding away on my psyche was we went to this retirement home and we were fixing this door, and there was an old lady without a mask, and, you know, she waved hi or whatever, and I let her pass or whatever, and then she walked out the door and walked like, man, my stomach is just like...
Do we need to stop for a snack?
No, I don't know what it's stomach doesn't usually make noises like this. It's very, very odd.
Right.
But then she walked like 6 feet out of the door, and then she dropped dead. And what? Yeah. I told you the story was killer.
Right.
But that's horrible. You know, and then it was weird because I mean, well, A, that's weird in general. But sure. B,
was this the first time you've ever actually watched someone die in front of you?
Oh, no. No.
Okay.
No. It was just like that plus like the weeks prior of like stress and like worrying about it and like, you know, like, I mean, there'd been like shit at like, you know, people were like fucking fighting at our Home Depot here and like just shit was, you know, I was having a hard time finding toilet paper. Ha 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 ha, but it's true. You know,
no lie. We finally had to. We were finally able to mail order some in.
Yeah,
because we just can't get it down here.
That sucks, man. It seems like I mean, I don't know how it is in California at the moment, but like for us up here, a lot of grocery stores have implemented like you can only buy so much of each thing.
Oh yeah, it's rationed.
And that's helped a lot because you can generally get toilet paper now if you want to find toilet paper. Can't find it at Costco, but you can find it everywhere else. You know, and just like I don't know, I'd be lying if I said it hadn't like affected me in a weird way that like other deaths hadn't, you know? Like I mean, like I've seen my uncle died, you know. If we go really way back in the podcasts, you know, I had a girlfriend that was murdered early on, you know, and there's been, you know, if this were a comic book origin story, there's been a bunch of that. You know? But it was so weird because she was just like a stranger, you know? And it was just like, okay, I'm at a retirement home. We know how retirement homes are bad. I'm just trying to do my job, get in and get out. I don't really want to be here. She was like a nice person.
Right. And hey, then, how you doing?
Yeah. Because like it was super weird because like, so for starters, like I didn't actually see her. I didn't see her drop dead. Like she walked out and then she turned right and then out of my view. But then this other dude, also not a mask, so it was like a little bit in my head. It was like, oh, 28 days later it's happening, which is terrible. But this dude came up on the door that I was working on, which was locked, and was just like banging on the door. Was like, gotta come quick, and I was just like, what the fuck, you know? Came out
on doors here,
and the dude was like, this lady just fell over, she stopped breathing. I was like, the lady, and I was like, oh fuck, you know. And the manager of the retirement happened to be behind us at the time, and so, you know, he called 911 and all that sort of stuff. And it was weird because like we just finished the work too, you know, and we're like gonna say goodbye and whatever to the dude, but then it was just like it was a counter. I mean, I don't know how other people deal with it. I feel like it's very situational. Like there's been times in my life where, you know, the right thing to do is to like stay with someone who's having a panic attack, or, you know, somebody's bone is sticking through their leg, you know, and, you know, like to try to do something, you know. But the fight or flight response in that situation was like all flight. Like, fuck this noise, getting the fuck out, you know.
Right.
And like
nope.
Yeah, I noped the fuck out of that place, you know. And I don't know, you know, like part of me is like, you should have done something, but then another part of me is also like, well,
what
during these specific times, it's like, well, you it's not like you could have done CPR. A dude was already tending to her, and then the manager dude called 911, and you drove past the you know, the fire medics or whoever the hell showed up there, in the end, on your way out after you'd finished your job. So it's not like you were like leaving your job or whatever, you know. But I don't know, man. I got really paranoid after that, like just like taking showers every day and like making sure, Jessica was doing like all the right stuff, and actually I don't know if I'm allowed to say what things, because she works for Amazon now.
No,
She could get in trouble. I probably shouldn't say anything.
I mean, she's taking measures. I mean, like myself, we have an almost an airlock procedure because I'm going to work every day. I work in aerospace, so I've been considered essential. Because your product, your Amazon packages still have to fly. Your mail still has to fly. So my job requires me to work in that capacity, make sure that the parts are getting back on airplanes, getting repaired and whatnot.
Sure.
So, dude, go get a granola
Man,
bar.
I had dinner literally at 7. Or no, I had dinner. Wait, no, because we were getting on a date, right? We're not
yes.
Something. Yeah. No, I had fucking stew. I had stew at 7. I don't know. It's just meh.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know what you want to fire. Just now?
Yep.
Y'all good?
That's not fireworks. No, it's Memorial Day. You know how it goes.
I mean, true. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, we had a giant explosion, a block away from me that like I saw from my window, and I thought, huh. And then later in the news, I heard about a pipe bombing at somebody's house.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, cool. Awesome.
It's my third episode, I believe, of the podcast that my brother-in-law are doing. You can edit this out because I'm not going to self-advertise. But I don't
care. I feel you've earned enough.
There was an end of an Amber Alert a block away from my house, and we record outdoors. Literally a fireside fire pit
nice.
chat.
Yeah, well, you've got like kind of a cool fireside setup, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. So yeah, that edit was rough because I'm literally trying to like, where can I cut out the silence that's in the midst of a that fits with the sirens.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys recording about?
We're literally just kind of shooting from the cuff. My brother-in-law he's in the entertainment industry, so he got displaced by COVID. And he's always been kind of a creative. He wants to produce things. He's a doer in the sense of like he's a project manager, so he always wants a project to kind of oversee. But now he's kind of in front of the camera now. It's fun. It's a little awkward.
Are you videoing the podcast?
Oh yeah, we're Twitch streaming on his account.
Okay.
And then I'm doing the edit and everything for it. But it's just funny because he's a great guy. Obviously, he's my brother-in-law. And he wants to kind of get out the we're doing parenting, life, and whiskey.
Okay, sounds good.
Something the three of us the two of us are very familiar with. Him having a newborn, and me with my 2 girls.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been kind of riffing on that and trying to get some structure behind it.
I'm just gonna dive in.
Technical difficulties. Yeah.
I'm just gonna dive in on the newborn thing for a second. So, I don't have any kids, but my boy who was on the podcast last summer, Daniel, he got shipped off. He's in the Air Force. He got shipped off to the Kuwait Air Force Base over there. And his wife gave birth like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And strange. I mean, I thought it was strange. She's best friends with my Jessica. And she was over here like last weekend with a baby. I held his newborn baby, and I felt so weird about it because he's fucking stuck being Air Force, and like I've held his kid before him, you know, let alone all the fucking COVID shit or whatever, you know. I don't know. She just showed up, and Jessica was like, okay, because like that's the other thing that pisses me off. I feel like I'm doing my proper precautions about all this COVID thing, and thankfully Amazon has a lot of precautions and stuff, which makes me feel a little bit better about Jessica working in a warehouse. You know, but like so many fucking places that I've been for work just not
right.
And then like I'll go to like
not even like we don't know, we just don't want to. There's a blatant disregard.
Yeah, you know, and like I don't know, shit's just fucking crazy, man. Like, I mean, I know everybody's just saying that, but like it literally is, you know. And like regardless of what happens, you know, everybody keeps talking about this new normal, you know, and that, you know, I get it from the perspective that, you know, things that were once normal now no longer are considered normal because of, you know, either fear, because of seeing weird shit going on around you, you know, or because, you know, like there is actually a fucking pandemic going on, but it's
regardless of what your local, state, federal government tells you.
You know, it's weird because it's like, you know, it like COVID is simultaneously more widespread and I don't know, whichever way you slice it, and they made it more fear-mongery, I guess. But at the same time, H1N1 was not as widespread, but like 8 times as dangerous, you know? And like that's crazy to me because like I lived through H1N1, you know?
Oh, same.
You know, I don't know.
We're both both nearby major ports of entry and major transit hubs.
Oh, well, I mean I actually had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, thank you, PAX 2007.
Well, that's, again, that's the thing. You know, I've got friends in Indiana, Ohio that are just like, well, this, you know, this is the first time they've actually experienced a pandemic because H1N1 didn't get so far inland.
Well, but that's the thing, though.
You were literally, if you were nearby a transit hub, you got it. Right. That was your major contagion zone, and then outside of that, it was negligible. So it wasn't such a widespread pandemic like COVID is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just wild. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like back when I was saying, like I already have a contingency plan where I basically airlock every time I come home from work. You know, I enter the back door of my house and I strip down and, you know, immediately hop in a shower before I even interact with my kids. And it's just, it's awkward, but it's what we got to do.
You know, I mean, I don't have a back door like that because my showers are all upstairs, but you know, like if I've been out someplace or if I've been in a hospital or something like that, you know, which I have been, unfortunately, because I'm an essential worker, automatic doors, people got to move. You know,
in fact,
and then like
your industry is almost crucial to this, to the spread of the pandemic. You know, your automatic doors are eliminating a human contact element at some point.
Well, and I'll tell you right now,
those don't work. Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, and I mean, I don't know if it's a national thing or whatever, but it's not like I'm on our NDA or anything. I've been hearing from multiple city halls that there are like quadrupling the number of automatic doors for just their staff, not for handicapped people.
Right.
And they've apparently got mandates from, and I've heard this multiple times from someone above their pay grade, that, a push plate that's usually, a piece of metal and a cherry switch needs to be touchless, which have been around for a while, but, pretty much only hospitals use them. And so I'm like, interesting.
Right.
So on the one hand, that's good for future business. But on the other hand, it's like, yeah, well, if they're doing that on a city hall level, I think there's going to be more automation from the perspective of COVID proofing or whatever proofing in the future. Because whatever, I can't imagine that, unless you're out someplace Midwest or country or something, like that everything's going to return to exactly the same. Like a lot of things will be the same, but nothing's going to be like the exact same. You know what I mean?
Well, again, we're going to learn. There's lessons to be learned from this in ways of, in your industry, you can automate the opening of doors without having to actually physically grab a handle. And while that's great for ADA compliance, maybe this becomes the new norm, is we don't touch handles. I've already heard of propositions being moved down here in LA to automate bathrooms.
Oh, really? Your guys' bathrooms aren't automated there?
Well, no, the opening and closing of the doorways and the stallways. Yeah, a lot of the sinks and everything are all touch, and the flush is already touchless. But what about entry to and from?
Yeah,
right. You're eliminating one more
different
thing.
Doors for that to work.
Sure, it's an investment, but
sure.
But this pandemic is bringing to light an opportunity to go, okay, we can make this investment now, and while it's reactionary to COVID-19, it definitely has a benefit for any future pandemics or even whatever seasonal flus or another H1N1, H1N2. Anything that comes along future. Now we've kind of future-proofed our bathrooms. We future-proofed our society and go, okay, we don't need to physically grasp a handle every time we go into and out of a place. So, great business for you.
Yeah. The only problem is, to tack on to the other end of that story. So, Dad got a loan, and then he actually got 2 of the COVID state-assisted loans, which for sure, regardless of if we were working or not, will float the business at least until July, and keep me and Brock half paid, half employed. So that's good from that perspective. But really, the first work I did, like real work I did, was last week, and it was only a couple of days worth of work. Other than that, I've just been, there's been a fuck ton of bids, office work, and we've done a lot of that stuff, and there's a lot of stuff in pipelines and stuff for all these projects that have gotten pushed back, and at least in the state of Washington, they've opened up construction stuff again somehow. There's a lot of fucking rules and shit to it, but
oh yeah.
It's kind of a matter of, as long as there's not a crazy second wave, which I don't know how much you read the news or whatever, but if you look at the beaches in New Orleans,
we're airing into topics that are barred from conversation, so.
I mean, are they though? Like, but here's the thing. Like, so, like, I wrote, here what? I'll fucking pull up the bylaws that I wrote myself.
All right.
Let's see, what did I even say? That's a good question. What did I say? Rules and regulations. Oh my god, I'm fucking ridiculous. I added patch notes with version numbers.
Right, version 1.0.1.1.1.
Let's see, now we're into episode number 0.2.
Which I'm
0.2.
Noticeably absent from.
Ooh, are you? Jesus Christ, stomach. What is your deal?
Absolutely no talk about religion. Absolutely no talk of politics or factions of government. We all lean towards a certain faction of government, but particularly in this point in USA history, it is more heated and charged than ever before. Much like rule number 1, talk of it, even well-intentioned, just breeds hate and vitriol, like
that's true.
Bad Twitter or Reddit argument. So yeah, that's right. There's a lot of reasons to have disdain for the current situation, and you can pick a side. I think that's probably not something we want to do here.
Yeah, but I mean, just based from our own conversation, obviously, you and I are taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, I personally would lean into, you know, if government interferes with primary topics of our shows. And the fact of the matter is, you know, that it has. Like, let's, you know, I mean, okay, well, first of all, do we really need to talk a fuck ton more about COVID? Because, like,
no,
I'm sure everybody's talked about it to death. You know, but as my example, just briefly,
well, I mean,
you know, the whole
there's
thing.
There's a reason why this whole thing has been kind of put off for the last 2-3 months now. Like, it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You didn't just decide to, I'm just going to stop doing a podcast. Like, life has gotten screwed up because of COVID, so it's relevant. We don't need to hammer it anymore. But yeah, it needed to be mentioned.
Well, I mean, you know, to put a pin in the having stopped doing podcasts for like the last 2 months, whatever, you know, in my head, when this whole thing first started, it was like, okay, cool, more time to podcast. But like, I'd say, I mean, I've been up and down, you know, like there's just been times where I just fucking don't feel like doing anything. And then like, even like playing games, like just like there's just this physical, you can feel like the very air outside of your house is depressed, and there's like suppression, and you can feel like, at least for me, you know, and it was just like, because like, I mean, I laid in bed reading way too much news and spiraling uncontrollably. Mm-hmm. You know, and I would be talking about it with Jessica, you know, and I would just be like, man, like, I feel so helpless. But unlike a war that, you know, whatever, you know, because that whole particular thing has happened a lot in history. It's like, okay, cool, there's a war. Oh, you know, I feel duty. Let's fight the war or whatever, you know. You know, it's not like, you know, I could go, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to go be a doctor. You know, right. Like that's not something you can just go do, you know? And so, you know, as has been said, the weirdest thing is, you know, doing nothing is helping, you know? And the reality and logicalness is, the reality is that there's nothing, you know, that you or I can do that in a broad way,
right, there's
helps
no
or affects stuff.
Singular effort that can be done. It's definitely a collective.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, fucking give me another topic, Nate. Let's get off this fucking COVID garbage.
We've done gaming, we've done tech, we've done life. So what's left is entertainment. What have you been watching lately? Since you've had so much time to sit at home.
Yeah. I mean, I have had a lot of time to sit at home. Less than some, though. Because like I said,
what's your guilty pleasure? Mine has been The Masked Singer, and I can't say that I was horribly impressed with the very ending of it.
I can't say I've watched something like that. I did start watching MasterChef Junior.
Okay.
Which Jessica got me into because she's a big cook, and those shows are very interesting. Gosh, I'm trying to think.
I've always been a big fan of the cooking competitions, as much as they're rigged and bullshit as they are. But yeah, like the cupcake challenges or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, Master Chefs, which Master Chef always cracks me up because it's the Xbox logo flipped upside down. Um,
Is it? Never even thought of that.
you look at it now, you'll never see it the same way again.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
or is that the Iron Chef? One of the two. I think it might have been Iron Chef. Okay.
I've not been watching Iron Chef. I've been watching the Gordon Ramsay stuff.
Yeah, I mean Gordon Ramsay's a prick, but so is John Tapper. If you follow that
Sure.
the bar rehab stuff, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean I love those. I love those, and I love the home improvement shows. It's literally caused me to stress about my finances because my
Ugh.
wife watches them and she goes, "Hey, can we build that?" You know, third edition to our house. It only took the Property Brothers 2 weeks to,
Yeah, sure.
right.
With a big ass budget, you can do a lot of things in 2 weeks. The only other kind of reality thing I watched was there's this Apple TV Plus show called Home, and it's these like really like just like crazy architectural homes made by the people who live in them.
Hmm.
And they're, I don't know, they're really good. Like they got beautiful music. Like the cinematography in them are, I mean, they look like Apple ads. I mean, it's an Apple show, so
Sure.
whatever, but like in a good way. Like, and I watched this one on this dude who built like this whole home out of bamboo. It was fucking cool. And then there's like this other dude in Japan who built this apartment that transfigures. Like everything is on like a ceiling mounted like grid of not casters, but like whatever wheel set you need to like move large heavy things. And so like his fucking bed folds out of the like rolls out of the wall, like his kitchen sink, like all of it just kind of pops out of the stuff. And like it was
Right. It's
something
all collapsible
ridiculous. It
and
was something
automated.
ridiculous, like fucking 400 square feet or something crazy like that. But it had the appearance that it was much larger. It was crazy. um yeah, so I watch stuff like that. Like I'm trying to think, because they've been showing shows that like, well, okay, so that's kind of backtracking to life a little bit. I've actually been watching less stuff than I normally do because I have more time to game. Because Jessica working at Amazon, she works nights now, which has been a huge change.
Ooh. Okay.
So she's gone from 5 p.m. until 6 a.m.,
Ooh.
and then I'm only working just a fucking handful of hours, so I'm only working from like 9 to 2. And so she'll get up to 2:30, spend a couple of hours with her. We'll watch something, and then she's off, which
Right.
is very different than our usual routine. And then she's also still in school. So, she's got school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so she's working nights. So then she gets off Thursday. So she spends like Thursday and most of Friday, buried doing homework. So like I only really see her a few hours before work and Saturdays and Friday nights.
Jesus. Yeah. You know, if I end up in Washington, I'm coming up and giving her a hug, not you. Holy crap.
Well, that's fine. So,
I remember doing the school and life grind before my kids were born, and yeah, that was no. Much respect for her. That's the fact that you guys are making it work. Much as I
yeah,
can tell.
it's been an adjustment, So like that, during all of this COVID stuff, so it's been a lot of things that have been on my mind that are not this show.
Sure.
So so we've definitely cleaned out some shows. Like we cleaned out Star Trek Picard, which I had to get her into because she's not a Trekkie. She does like Star Trek.
Mine neither, and she passively watched it over the back of the couch when I would watch it, and we got to the final episode, and she goes, okay, now I need to go back and watch because I want to know what happened.
See, so I got Jessica to watch Star Trek Discovery, and she loved Discovery. But she's that kind of Star Wars fangirl who's like, no, Star Trek is dumb.
Star Trek.
No, I meant Star Wars.
Okay.
She's that kind of Star Wars fangirl that's like, no, Star Trek is dumb. And I'm like, well, here, see. And I probably said this on the show before because this was years ago. I used one of my birthday coupons where I can get her to do whatever I want on Star Trek Discovery. And she was like, God damn it, I like this show. And I was like, yes, victory. She's like, but it's the only Star Trek. So in the lead up to Picard coming on, I got her to watch all the Next Generation movies, which I figured was like the bare minimum.
Sure.
And then I got her to watch not all of them, but like a bunch of the 7 of 9 episodes of Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Which was pretty solid base for her going into Picard. She didn't have to like guess at who the fuck is that character.
It's enough backstory, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit though, when Hugh showed up, and she was like, "Who is he?" and I was like, "I think I know, but maybe I don't."
No, like Hugh, and I didn't realize it was the same actor. Like,
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah, because they didn't have the same actor for the scientist dude, without spoiling stuff for people who haven't seen Picard.
Right. Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was a totally different actor. But yeah, no, Picard was great. She dug Picard. So we watched that. I got her into an old TV show favorite of mine called Fringe. Maybe remembers that show.
Oh yeah. I could only watch the first couple. I think it was the first season and the second season, and then it just got wackadoo.
I mean, it was wackadoo from the beginning, but it did go further sci-fi than.
Because it's government conspiracy more than sci-fi. Right, kind of like X-Files went off the rails. It was like it's sci-fi, and then
it didn't go government conspiracy. They went parallel worlds.
Okay.
So, I mean, they were the government, so, and I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Great series. I still recommend it.
Yeah, I like the first 2 seasons of it, and then it like I said, it just went too wackadoo.
See, that's so funny, because, like, I had that conversation with Jessica's folks, and they said the same thing. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. For me, like, the more sci-fi, the better. That's my motto.
It might be one of those things that like my generation, the old fuckers that we are, got ruined by how X-Files spun off. Like, I mean, it went off the rails, and it went off the rails 90 degrees.
So I mean, here's my thing, because I'm actually a huge X-Files fan as well. I agree with you that X-Files went off the fucking rails multiple times. And did you watch their continuation?
I did not.
Okay.
I think I refused. I think my brain was just like, nope, you're not going to suck me back in. It was the jilted ex-girlfriend syndrome.
I mean, without spoiling it,
Hey, you can spoil it. I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, it's fine. What I have to say isn't spoilerly. The 2-season revival of X-Files is like fucking fantastic, classic, awesome X-Files, as you know and
Okay, so
love.
it's fan service.
But
X-Files.
then the last 2 episodes went just fucking straight off the fucking rails again.
Oh my God. Oh, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I would say as a fan, even with guilted girlfriend syndrome or whatever you said a second ago, it's some damn good television.
Yeah,
But
Mike, we've been watching Devs as much as we could. We got stopped, I think, about 6 episodes into that one.
So I watched Devs to completion a couple weeks ago, actually. I watched it without Jessica because I was looking for something to watch myself. And I'd been hearing Devs come up in conversation because the podcast that I listened to covering Westworld, which is another one.
Do we want to talk about Westworld right now, or do you want to save that one for Mike?
I mean, I don't know. Does he watch Westworld? I thought he didn't watch Westworld.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But
continue.
Yeah, so I've seen Devs. So are you guys continuing to watch Devs?
We're attempting to. I think it's gonna be one of those things that I watch by myself, and then she catches up with. Much like she did with what the fuck was it? The other Amazon one with I
mean, Devs is FX, but okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, without spoiling anything, and maybe you feel similarly, I'm getting the sense that you do. It started for me with, ooh, this is amazing and interesting, to, oh, this is good, to, okay, to, all right, okay, fine, I see what you're doing. Okay, there's more episode. There's more than one episode left. Okay, let's see what you got. Okay, cool, fine. This is a filler episode. To the final episode, which was pretty good, but then also was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And do I need those 8 hours of my life back?
Okay, so that's kind of where I feel it's going.
Okay. However, I wanna retroactively add to that, though. So a week went by me feeling this way about Devs, and I watched probably far too many videos on like real life quantum computers. And it totally flipped the script for me for the whole show. And that's all I'll say on it.
No, and I get that. And a lot of those similar like veins were talked about even in Picard.
Right, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Right. And oh, hey, the same actress in both of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's getting around the sci-fi circle.
Right. But yeah, it's just like I noticed that, and I was like, oh wait, okay, we're pushing a narrative, and what's that narrative we're pushing? So yeah, and even kind of Westworld got to that same kind of, we're trying to make a point, and we're filling in blanks, and we're wasting time trying to get to a finale. And to do that in, what was it, 8 episodes, 10 episodes?
Yeah,
what was Westworld?
So I agree that, yes, it was 8 episodes. So I agree that Westworld having 8 episodes definitely hurt them this season. As a whole, I really like season 3.
Yes.
However, I'm in the weird minority that didn't like, without spoilers, episode 5, that basically feels like the season finale of 3, like early. I'm in the weird majority that didn't like that whole episode too much, personally, because I was like, okay, cool, what the fuck is the rest of the season about?
and I think I might be in that minority with you, where it's
Okay,
just like,
cool. Cool.
why did we? What was the point of the last 3 episodes? And then we got to the end of it, right? We got to the end of episode 8. The credits rolled, and I was like, I'm good, thank you, I'm done.
Oh, but then they marveled it.
Motherfuckers.
They marveled it hard with that extra after credits, didn't they? And it was just
that
like,
was a screwdriver to the brain.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was a screwdriver to the brain.
Uh-huh.
So they better pick this thing up and run with it, because if that's what you're gonna leave me, that's the impression you're gonna leave me with. I was fine pre-credits.
Sure. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, we for 100% are getting a season 4 and probably 5 and 6.
Well, I don't like that, and probably.
Okay, no.
Sure,
so here's
we're gonna get a season 4. Is it going to be another 8 episodes? And are they going to go? Well,
okay.
We might be like unlimited time here. Are we going to cram everything into 8 episodes again?
Okay, so the reason I say probably is because that's not been officially confirmed. However, what is known in the media is that Jonathan Nolan, Lisa Joy, creators, executive producers, writers, and sometimes directors on the show, they inked it was like $1 billion deal with Amazon Prime, and Warner Brothers bought them back for $5 billion.
Okay.
And like 6 different Westworld podcasts, some of which I guess work for Variety magazine, have stated that they heard from their sources that the condition of them buying them back was they get to finish Westworld their way. No ifs, ands, or buts about, ratings, cancellations.
All right.
So, if that's the plan...
If it's an NBA contract, then great. If it's an NFL contract, then...
yeah. But, it also does kind of make sense, Jonathan Nolan's, worked a lot with Warner Brothers, and him leaving doesn't look good, especially since HBO Max is like, what, tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah, 27th? What is it today?
Something like that.
25th? So 2 days. 2 days from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yesterday, if you're listening to this on podcast...
Sure, if I fucking get it out that fast. Jesus. God. Yes, because of course, as soon as we hit done recording, it populates in your feeds.
Right.
I
gave you 3 days.
Gosh. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not worried about Westworld's future. The only thing I am worried about, which is the same thing I'm worried about after the end of every fucking Westworld season, is how long are we going to have to wait? Because COVID. And Westworld in general has always made us wait 2 fucking years between seasons.
Yeah, there's that. You know which one? The other series I'm waiting. I've been impatiently waiting for is the Seth MacFarlane space.
Yes, which for sure has gotten pushed back to next year. It also got moved to Hulu too, right?
Yes. Well, I knew that was
which
happening.
Is not a bad thing.
That was already planned. That was in the works.
That was a Disney move. After Fox got purchased, actually. But yeah,
well, that was part of the delay. Was I was told that from my sources was it's going to Hulu, so it's going to get delayed.
Well, the first delay was for Fox to continue it prior to them being bought by Disney. For Fox to continue it, they needed to get on the short list for the California Hollywood tax credit, which they did do. So it pushed their film date by. And then, of course, Disney bought Fox. And then Disney had to sift through the thousands of Fox properties and what they wanted to do with them, obviously.
Right. And here's the creator of Family Guy going, "Hi, Disney, don't cut me."
Well, I mean, if you read fucking a bunch of Hollywood shit like I do, he is one of the most successful, highly paid executives in Hollywood. Period. Full stop. He's also stupid talented. Like, it's disgusting how much talent comes out of that dude.
He's on the level of Conan O'Brien.
No, I would say he's higher. He's like Conan O'Brien mixed with oh fuck, it's blanking on me. I was just thinking about it earlier because I actually oh no, it's coming to. He's like Conan O'Brien mixed with Mel Blanc. Right?
Looney Tunes voice actor?
Right, because Mel Blanc could do everything. And Conan O'Brien can.
It's an interesting comparison. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's probably a lowball one too, because Seth MacFarlane also acts professionally and has directed professionally both film and animation. So maybe it's a lowball comparison. Actually, maybe there's, I don't know. There's not too many auteurs like that one. That's for sure.
All right.
And if that's a big word for my audience, auteur. You know, I don't actually know the exact definition. It's like French. I just a fucking brain fart. It's like French for being good at all kinds of shit. I'm pulling out the dictionary. It's fine. Tour. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Tour. Fuck me. Okay, Google, let's try that.
Not too sure.
Oh, there we go. Auteur. Filmmaker whose personal influence and artistic control over a movie are so great that a filmmaker is regarded as the author of the movie.
Gotcha.
Oh, it is French.
Would probably be like the Spielberg's influence over what was it, Back to the Future?
It would go deeper than a Spielberg. We're talking about like a Christopher Nolan or a M. Night Shyamalan. You know, there's another definition here. Is an artist, usually a film director, who applies a highly centralized and subjective control to many or all aspects of the collaborative creative work. That's it. That's a better definition.
Okay.
Yeah. So another example. Oh fuck me.
Lucas.
Lucas, auteur. John Carpenter, auteur.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. Wes Craven.
Fucking. James Cameron. Okay. Or Peter Jackson, or Guillermo del Toro. There you go. Bunch of examples of auteurs.
Sure.
Okay, now that we've done English and Googling through Oxford dictionaries and not remembering what fucking definitions are what.
Hey, we've been out at this for just over 2 hours now. Welcome back to podcasting, right?
It's fine. It's a fantastic firesidey warm up. I mean, I certainly feel fire. Like, it was like super hot yesterday, but it like rained all day today, so it's fucking humid as fuck in this room right now. Like,
it's as they put it, moist.
Ugh. I definitely fucking feel moist. It's fucking disgusting. Fucking. I've said it a million times. You know, I have nothing personal against people or the landscape of like Florida or Georgia or any of those places on the East Coast. But I physically do not want my body there because of the humidity. Like,
right.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I've lived down in the what is it, the chode.
The chode.
Not on the penis.
Oh, okay.
Florida.
Let's see.
Up under the scrot.
Jesus.
Right.
Okay.
Panhandle. And while the beaches are beautiful, like Destin, Florida, the beaches there are literally sugar white, and you never get a wave higher than a knee slapper. You could, You could swim out for miles and never get knocked over.
Mm-hmm.
Great place to visit. I was so glad to move back home from there.
I mean, I just don't think certain people are built for humidity. I'm not a person.
I am not one of them.
I'm not a person who's built for humidity.
I'm not built for above 90 degrees.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But
humidity
you live in fucking, like, it gets hot in California, dude.
No, I know. I want to move out of here. I want to move up where you're at because 90 doesn't happen that often.
We got lots of aerospace shit up here. Actually, we got a fuck ton of aerospace shit up here, for that matter.
I'm going to tag the wife when you announce when you announce this episode and say, listen to this, especially the last 5 minutes of it when I say we're moving the fuck out of California.
What's your wife's name, if you don't mind?
Amy.
Yeah.
Jessica,
listen,
that seems to be a thing, right?
Listen to this. This Pacific Northwesterner. We got Boeing up here. We got SpaceX. We got Blue Origin. We got other aerospace companies I don't even know the names of, but I know the metal manufacturers who make shit for them. We got a lot of aerospace up here. Come up here.
And you have wine country. We went up there.
I mean, we do. We do have wine country.
One of our good friends is a buyer for Kirkland.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we have family up there. I have a cousin up there. We actually went up there a couple years ago.
There you go, man.
We love the area.
Yeah.
She will not leave here. Damn her. So, yeah. All in due time. Yeah, no, I would love to move up to the Pacific Northwest because I love the weather. I don't care about
here's another
gray.
thing. Like, even though we're definitely more expensive than the East Coast, we're a fuckload cheaper than California.
Uh-huh.
Like, Jesus. It's ridiculous.
Oh, and I mean, I don't even need to go all the way up into Seattle. Like, I would do, as much as it's the, what is the exhaust port for Seattle over there in Tacoma, right?
Tacoma is way further south than Seattle,
but that's
actually.
where that's all the shit went downhill, right? If
I
you
mean,
did the Seattle Underground tour.
No, not to my knowledge. Like, they're separated. That's like 80-mile difference, dude.
Right, but okay. But
yeah,
like,
I'm
fine with Tacoma. I'm fine with even Northern Oregon.
Yeah,
like,
Oregon's great.
Those are all regions I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of getting.
You will get humidity though in Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Oh yeah. We get humidity down here. It's don't.
Yeah, but you get that 100-degree humidity in Oregon. But anyway.
Yeah.
What the fuck were we talking about? We're talking about devs. We're talking about Westworld.
Devs, Westworld, and
let's see. I of course, watched the final season of Clone Wars, which is fantastic. And for anybody who hasn't checked out Clone Wars, it's on Disney Plus, all of it.
I need to now that I have Disney Plus. You know what? That's the one part of my Star Wars education that I'm missing is all of the animateds.
Well, here's the secret on the animation stuff. So there's a movie and a first season, and they're just not good. Let's just get that out of the way.
Which is probably why I didn't continue on with it, because I was like, oh, look, Clone Wars. Hey,
yeah,
this is
because
garbage.
The animation is janky.
Suspect. Yeah,
it's janky. The voice acting's always been good. So there's no problem there. And in fact, the dude who did Palpatine, because obviously Palpatine's in the fucking Clone Wars show. It was done by a different dude, but the actual guy who played Palpatine, Ian McDermott, he went back and re-recorded stuff for all the Clone Wars episodes for Disney Plus. So you're getting an even more authentic experience with some of the original actors. Yeah, I mean, that's really the worst thing I can say about the series is you need to see the movie and the first season, because it sets up the crucial character that's going to be crucial for the entirety of Clone Wars, including its subsequent animated series, and also is coming in season 2 of Mandalorian. Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. And, you know, the first season is just rough, you know? I mean, it was a, at the time, high quality, high budget CGI animated TV show on Star Wars, which is at a half hour at that, which is definitely not something you're used to for Star Wars. And definitely the movie and the first season skew towards the Y7 group. And then season 2 starts and it's like, well, it has Y7 on it, but is it really though? And they just kind of throw that out the window and just do Star Wars. It's fantastic. And then obviously from there you should go to Rebels, which is the series after Clone Wars, which takes place after Clone Wars, but before New Hope. That's really good as well. Let's see. So, another thing that happened in TV was, so I'd been a big fan of anime, but I haven't watched anime in like fucking, I don't know, man, like a decade, you know, besides the stuff that I like grew up with and have on Blu-rays and DVDs, you know? So I started getting back into that. Just all the really weird fucking anime.
Right.
So I'm watching a lot of weird shit right now. Some stuff on recommendation, some stuff just because I saw, ooh, that brief synopsis and picture looks vaguely interesting. So I'm watching, Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? Which is, in fact, its name. That is not a thing I'm making up.
Is it wrong to pick up a girl in a dungeon?
Yes, that is its title. I'm not kidding you.
Hey.
I'm watching Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which despite its base thing is the most raunchy thing I've seen so far. It's the closest to hentai of probably all of them. It's just ridiculous. There's like people and they're like at a school, but they like fight, but their emotions manifest into weapons, and there's just like ridiculous people being moist, and there's like teacher who throws up blood. It's
moist.
What the fuck soundbite was that?
That was me.
Dude, that sounded like the first Mac OS speech to text program. Like that's
moist.
Oh,
you know
God.
who's going to appreciate that one? Burning Wing. Will appreciate that one.
Oh man. Yeah, so I've been doing that and working through Sword Art Online, which, okay, so Sword Art Online is a different one. So Sword Art Online is one of those ones that Jessica made me watch like months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. This first episode is neat. And then the second episode takes place like fucking 6 months later. And I'm just like, what was the point of the first episode? They're just going to time jump like this. It's super fucking annoying to me. So I'm getting through it. It's getting better, I guess. People say it's good. I don't know. Let's see. I've gone back, non-anime, I've gone back to rewatching and catching up on seasons I hadn't seen of everything. Or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I checked out the Solar Opposites show, which is from the Rick and Morty co-creator / voice actor. You're growling.
You know my feelings on Rick and Morty.
I don't. Do you hate them?
No, I love them. I can't get past the voices. I can't
Mm,
watch a single fucking episode of that show because the goddamn voices. And you know this because you've mocked me
I have?
by doing the voices,
Oh
and you
man.
specifically called me out and said, "So I know this is going to piss you off, Nate." And you do a very good impression, which
Yeah, they're
please
not
don't do it now. I might, you know.
they're not bad.
Yeah, it's literally the voices. I can't watch that show. I've seen Solar Opposites on my Hulu list, and
Okay, well
it's tempting.
if it makes you feel any better, Justin Roiland, who obviously does do voices and is a co-creator in that show, he only voices one dude in the show. Everybody else is done by somebody new.
Okay.
If that makes you feel any better. And the voice he does do is just like a like an adult that's stressed out.
Okay.
Watch a trailer. If you can stand the voices in the trailer, you're good.
So not Morty.
No, there is no Morty. Every other character is done by a different dude. Like his like, you know, the premise of the show, right?
I saw the synopsis.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, for those listening who don't know what Solar Opposites is on Hulu right now, it's like if Rick and Morty had a baby with American Dad mixed with the old NBC sitcom Third Rock from the Sun. That's what Solar Opposites is, in a good way.
Okay.
The gist is they're aliens, and they left a planet that blew up, and they were supposed to have been assigned an uninhabited planet to recolonize on, and they landed on Earth. But everybody knows they're an alien, which is an interesting wrinkle, and they're just trying to fucking get by. And they deal with dumb, like, quasi King of the Hill ish, Third Rock from the Sun ish shit, like fighting an HOA because their spaceship is sticking out of the roof, or or their kids, which are actually clones of themselves because they're supposed to self-replicate or something when they get to the planet, and they keep shrinking all of their classmates and other humans and putting them into a terrarium, and things like getting their neighbors to like them, you know, like it's just like it's some really good shit. And I can tell you right now, because I know Brock will always shit on Rick and Morty, which is ridiculous in my opinion. He loves fucking Solar Opposites. He binged that shit in a day. There's only 8 episodes right now. I'll say the first one is definitely rough, like most first episodes are. And then around episode 2, it kind of clicks, and it's like, okay, this works. This works. This is cool. So
I think that might be one of those I give a try that that me and the wife don't watch.
I mean, I do not pretend to know what your wife Amy is into or anything, but I'm assuming she doesn't do raunchy cartoons.
Oh, we fall asleep to Family Guy every night. Like that's
Oh,
on a
really?
loop. So, yeah.
Well, this one is definitely a lot more like America Dad in that sense.
I mean,
Like,
I'll start it, and if it's one of those that if I can get past it, then I'll introduce it into the loop.
yeah,
So
it's definitely more American Dad than
yeah, I think I'm
most
okay
of
with
the other
that.
things. So
The one that oh, I just got sent a picture. I'm apparently sleeping in my office tonight.
oh, is that
We
bad?
just recently got a king size bed, and my girls, all 3 of them, my wife and my 2 daughters, are sprawled.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I have no room.
I'm
Because
sorry
of
to hear
watching
that.
Westworld, it is what it is. We moved the nursing recliner into my office, so it's
Oh,
very,
okay.
very comfy.
That's not bad.
So yeah, after Westworld, you know, the next show that Hulu recommended was the I guess it's another HBO series, Big Little Lies. Oh, I hear a sigh.
So Jessica wants to watch that. I like all of those actors in it except for Shailene Woody. She's just one of those actresses that I just fucking hate. And
Okay.
there's just
Yeah,
no
I
rhyme or
mean,
reason.
it's the Rick and Morty voice for me, right?
Yeah.
I
And
respect the comedy. I just can't get past the voice. It's, you respect the show, but you just can't get past the actress. That's fine.
and
But
maybe part of me is from, the Spider-Man fanboy of me, where she was cast in Amazing Spider-Man 2 as fucking Mary Jane, and they film scenes with her and then cut her out of the movie. Maybe part of it is, she was on that show where she was like a pregnant teenager, and like it was like playing in the background and shit, and people were watching it, and I was just like, who is that person and why is she so bad at acting?
but then it could
maybe
be
it's just
Divergent.
maybe
It
it's
could
just
be Divergent, where
maybe
she
it's
was actually a
just
pretty decent actress.
maybe it could have been those terrible Divergent movies which Jessica loves and I fucking hate. I can't put my fucking finger on
And you know what? That's and legitimately, like, the hatred for Triss aside, um,
Is that her name in Divergent?
yes.
Okay. The fact that you know.
What?
I just.
It's no. My wife is a middle school teacher, and the Divergent novel series is
Oh,
that
okay.
time span, that age range. So she had read the novels long before the movies had come out.
Okay.
Yeah, we pick them apart. But yeah, you might not be in the the same social group as a lot of the stuff that the series covers, with the whole
I mean,
dance mom group.
if it makes you feel any better, like, I liked the sci-fi look of Divergent. I thought that was good.
Yes.
Like, I can dig an aesthetic.
Sure.
I just can't dig. I just can't dig horribly wooden acting.
Again, no offense taken. Again, you love your Rick and Morty, and I can respect the humor, and I can respect the talent. If I hear those voices one more time, I'm going to pull my ears off.
I mean, if it also makes you feel any better, those particular voices performed by the same guy, after season 1, which is only 6 episodes, I want to say, he settles into a groove where they're less grating. It makes you feel any better.
Good.
Just saying.
Oh, good. Because I've seen the later episodes, and it's still grating to me.
Oh, so you've actually seen the show then?
I've tried. Yeah,
okay.
I tried. I keep stepping back into it and go, and I nope right the fuck out. So same thing with
sucks,
you. Like, you see Big Little Lies and you go, oh, look, it's Shaylee. I'm done.
So, funny counterpoint to this, and I may have brought this up on the show before, but there's an Apple TV Plus show, which I think won like a fucking Emmy or some shit. Fuck, what is it called? Oh, The Morning Show. It's got
the other was Reese Witherspoon, and
yeah. Fucking hate Reese Witherspoon. However, The Morning Show, fucking love Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
And then Jessica tried to pull a fast one on me and get me to watch some fucking country romance shit with her in it.
Sweet Home Alabama?
Probably. And I noped the fuck out of that. So,
yeah.
It goes. And then the other one, which is unfortunately an Apple TV Plus exclusive, is Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. Okay.
That sounds like a bad third-party sequel to a lost video game franchise.
So funny thing, it's about a video game studio. And it's from the Everything Sunny in Philadelphia team.
Oh my god. Okay.
It is fucking fantastic. It's everything, first of all,
I'll have to see if I can.
You a Sunny guy?
pirate that game. Yeah, huh?
You a Sunny guy? Everything Sunny in Philadelphia?
I'm not. Again, I can
Okay.
respect it. I can't watch it.
Okay, you could probably get into Mythic Quest because it's not, it's not 100% the same thing. There's like a fuck ton of actors. Like the lead dude is the dude who created Sunny and who plays Mac on that show. And he's so it revolves around a video game studio that has, of course, in this fictional world, created the most popular MMO in the world. And of course, it's called Mythic Quest, and they're trying to launch their new expansion called Raven's Banquet. And then, yes, the title of the TV show being called that is on purpose. I watched behind the scenes thing, and they were just like, "Yeah, we just want the most letters you can put on a poster to sound as generic as possible."
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. But it's a crazy cast of characters. So it's got that guy from Sunny, and he plays this like completely self-absorbed, egotistical, like he's like the game director, and he's just fucking ridiculous. But then you've also got Daniel Pudi from Community, who plays the most villainous finance officer I have ever seen in like a comedy TV show. Like he's the type of person who will like put an in-game item in their fake game in their TV show, and like put $1,000 DLC price tag on it because he's trying to pay for another pool, at his house. It's just fucking ridiculous. And then it's got, ironically, because like you're a Star Trek guy, right? Mm-hmm. So you remember the villain from Star Trek Insurrection, the one with the planet, and they were like healed, and there was like those aliens, and they were pulling their skin back. Yeah. So the lead bad guy in that is in Mythic Quest, and he plays this grizzled old, doesn't know a fuck all thing about technology. He's like the writer of the game, and he walks around with this Nebula award in his hand. Be like, "Yes, did you hear about the time that I won a Nebula award in 1996?" Like he's.
I'm looking at this F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah. That's the guy. But it's a fucking great mix. It's really good. It's got that nice balance of just absurd workplace comedy, but then it's also got kind of like an overarching like emotional thread too, And
so again, kind of like the Orville.
I'd say more ridiculous than the Orville. And definitely
pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but the Orville's not R-rated.
That's true.
This is definitely R-rated. But yeah, no, that's a fantastic one. And if anybody has access to Apple TV Plus or a trial, I would definitely binge that one. They actually had another episode this week. The show finished up earlier this year, but they had a quarantine episode that I guess they filmed in all their actors' homes with everybody using iPhones or some shit. Because obviously it's an Apple show. The other ironic part about it is if you look at the like the opening credits and stuff and like the end credits, it's co-produced by Ubisoft, which is insane.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a very bizarre thing to see. But they had this whole like
did they use the engine or something?
I mean, so like when they cut to like different things where there would be like a traditional commercial break, it's usually like an Assassin's Creed cinematic or a For Honor cinematic, some Ubisoft game. But I think really, my understanding is that they were, it was a co-production. Like it's with Ubisoft, like their movie studio division. So it's possible that they have some of their own money in it to try to make it more authentic as like an actual video game industry thing.
Interesting.
Since there's never really been anything like that. And you know, and I'm sure probably from like a back-end handshake deal, from Apple's sense and their whole mandate of quality over quantity for their programming, you know, them being, even if it is ridiculous, like authentic to like, okay, yes, you'd have patches, you'd have these things. Like they do all kinds of topics that are like relevant to us as gamers. Like they deal with like Twitch streamers that are like shitting on their game, you know, and like they deal with
that
like
never happens.
Game testers and like how the game tester environment is, you know, everybody's heard that, you know, more often than not, it's usually pretty shitty and hostile workplace, you know, and like all these different things and like, oh my God, we got this new feature. And like, yeah, but this feature is shipping and your feature sucks. You know, like they deal with like things that we've been talking about for years as non-game developers. So I would think that that's probably more of their hand in that show. But it's good. Yeah, definitely encourage that one for sure. What about you? What else have you been watching? I feel like I've been talking ad infinitum here.
Yeah, you definitely have more time to watch TV than I do. Yeah, I caught up on my Westworld. We were trying to keep up on the Masked Singer when it was going through.
Yeah.
Devs were a little bit behind on. I'm still trying to catch up on The Expanse.
Ooh, that's a fucking fantastic one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm midway through season 2 right now.
Okay.
For the second time, because I got to the I think I'm at the end of this one.
I 100% feel you. No, I'm not spoiling. I'm just saying.
Okay.
You like get to it and then you need to rewatch because there's like so many fucking characters.
Right.
You know that one, yeah. Especially.
I was like, I'm sure. Like Amazon told me I'm on this episode, and I'm watching it, going, I don't remember this. So I went back and had to rewatch an entire season to try to catch up. And yeah, so that's what I'm trying to keep track of. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have a whole lot of time. I could tell you the ins and outs of Paw Patrol and Blaze and the Monster Machines at this point.
No, I think you need to have Brock on for that one so then he can talk about whatever shit his kid's watching. I go by his room and he's watching the weirdest shit on that TV and I just shake my head and walk away.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we'll get the three of us on here.
Yeah, for sure. Do you need to go, good sir?
I've needed to go, but you know, I'm blessed with a very understanding wife. So
okay.
Yeah, she stuck her head and it was like, look at the watch. I said, yeah, I can see the watch. And she goes, you know, it's late. I said, I'm very well aware it's late. I've got to be up. I've got to be at work at 4:00 in the morning tomorrow. So.
Oh God. Well, then I should let you go because I don't want to fuck you over like that.
Oh, this is normal. I don't fall asleep early anyway. So it was a pleasure bringing you back into the podcastiverse.
Podcastiverse. Okay, sure. That's a new one. Okay, well, yeah, it was fantastic talking to you and catching up on some of the things that we've been doing during this ludicrous 2020.
We've gone plaid.
Gone plaid. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds bad.
You've seen Spaceballs?
Is that a thing in Spaceballs? It's been a while since I've seen Spaceballs.
They went ludicrous speed, and then they've gone plaid.
Oh my God! Okay,
right?
You're spouting. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I didn't do an intro. I'm not even gonna do an outro. This is the end of the show.
Cut in.
It's probably more like cut out. Though that was a pretty good me impression, if I do say so.
Brother, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, thank you. Try to get some sleep, man.
I will.
Alrighty. See, there you go. The stomach is saying goodbye. Seriously,
good night.
I don't know what's going on with that. All right, catch you later, Nate. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
This is Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival by author Tim K.A. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99.